Fight, we got Andre Petroski taking on Dylan Budka. And Andre Petroski, he got back into the win column July 13th after dropping 2 fights in a row. It was a must-win for him. He was 5-0 at one point in the UFC, so he needs to beat Dylan Budka in dominant fashion if he wants to try to work his way back towards the top 15 again. Dylan Budka, he's 0-1 in the UFC, and he had a bad performance in his debut. He fought a high-level kickboxer in Cesar Almeida, and he got finished in the second round. Round one, he was controlling Almeida, but kind of ineffective takedown attempts, and he got tired and then taken out in the second. And he's only 7-3, so he just has 2 more total fights than Petroski has UFC fights. He's still green, he's still learning, and this is a really hard style matchup, in my opinion. Budka has not been pro that long. He's only been a pro since 2022. He's racked up a lot of fights in a short period, but he has to level up if he wants to stay in the UFC. As of now, he's a pure grinder. He wants to use big striking actions to close the distance, wrestle. He has solid wrestling, although it isn't anything special. And if he can get in top position, he's decent at holding guys down. But his last fight wasn't really successful with that game plan against Almeida. And he actually got, finished trying to get a takedown against the cage with clinch strikes. He's not very dangerous. He could always land a fluke high kick or a big left hook, but he isn't even really trying to knock you out on the feet. He wants to get a hold of you and just kind of grind away. He doesn't throw strikes in the clinch when he's going for takedowns, and it can kind of just be inefficient energy expenditure. His last fight, he did almost control the first round, literally 5 minutes, and he was only able to land 1 significant strike. So it just shows he wasn't really doing too much. Budka has been submitted 1 time, which was in his pro debut, but other than that, he's never been submitted. But he has had other fights where he's kind of left his neck out there, and you don't want to do that against Petroski. I feel like Andre Petroski is going to be a dangerous opponent for him. Andre Petroski is a black belt. He has 3 submission wins in the UFC, and it's been over 2 years since he's earned a submission, so I think he's going to be hungry to try to get a finish against a guy that he thinks might not be on his level. Early on, he's really lethal with the chokes. He has good offensive and defensive wrestling, and I think if Dylan Budka shoots a bad shot on Petroski, leaves his neck out there, Petroski will snatch it up. He's explosive, he's strong, and Petroski does slow down. If he can get stuck on the feet, you could also knock him out for sure. He's shown kind of not the best durability, but he is powerful. He just has short arms and kind of can reach to close the distance. But I feel like he has more striking experience, honestly, and would be able to win a sloppy striking fight. And I think he's the better grappler and definitely live to get a submission win here. I think he could take down Budka as well as potentially catch a front choke when Budka tries to shoot in on him. So I just think this is a difficult matchup for Dylan Budka. He's going to have to try to be tactical with when he brings the fight to the ground, and I expect him to probably look to cage push a lot and try to gas Petroski and maybe win a boring decision. But I just think Petroski is way further ahead on the ground with the submission threat. I think he's fought a lot better strikers. And I'm going to predict Andre Petroski goes in there and gets the first round submission in this fight. I think that it'll be a levels fight. Petroski will be able to show that he's still a decent competitor in this UFC middleweight division.